B-roll at the back here.
Electric car I've ever driven.
I think Nick is in love with electric. You might have to get electric pickup, man.
Yeah.
Boom! Welcome back to the channel. I'm Hank Strange. This is StrangerPalooza. That right there is Nick Recchio of Coachman looking for the engine. I know you're not really looking for the engine, but this should be a telltale sign. It's not my eTransit. It's actually his eTransit. And today we're going to talk a little bit about, I guess, the future of electric vans in this Class B space. We're going to get into it. I've been trying to convince Nick to drive an electric vehicle now for a while. And lo and behold, he's actually done it. And we're going to tell you how he feels about it right now. And actually, we're going to go on a test drive. Let's get all into this. Hey guys, I just want to take a quick break here to show you all these t-shirts that we're selling. And here, I'll go to Lola's right here.
All right.
Lola, you be the supermodel for this.
I'll try my best.
So let's see if folks know what that says. VanNoisSeur. That's what it is. VanNoisSeur.
Like connoisseur.
There you go. For anyone who's wondering, these are, if you want to support us, this is a great way to support us. We have these VanNoisSeur t-shirts, and you can actually buy them right here on the YouTube channel.
Right.
There's like a little thing going there. What is that?
It's the scroll on the bottom of each video, as well as if you go to the home page, there's a merch tab or merch store that you can click on.
Yep. And you can get these cool shirts and support us. We're going to do different designs. I think you have stickers and different things on
Currently,
in the store
these are
right
available on the as stickers, on mugs, camp mugs, water bottles, I think hats.
Right, absolutely. So that's a great way to support the two of us. So if you want to support us, go there and check that out. And then one of the cool things about it that, you know, if you notice, there's no StrangerPalooza anywhere on it, so you don't have to advertise us, but you can support us, I think.
Agreed. And this first design is actually the Ford Transit camper van.
Yes. So that is, once again, I'm going to use
one
as the model. So yeah, that is a Ford Transit camper van, which is right there. That's ours that you see right behind us there. And then actually, we've got some friends over there. So if you're a fan of the Ford Transit or just van life altogether, this is a cool shirt that you can get. It's kind of like a conversation starter because people are going to want to know, what does it say?
Exactly.
All right, and we're going to do more of them. Okay, so that's it. Thanks so much for listening. So Nick, first of all, good to see you, man.
Welcome to Middlebury, sir.
Thanks for having me here. It's always fun to be here.
Yep, excited to have you here.
Yeah, now there's going to be a lot of people, including myself and Lola, when she's watching this, is going to say, wow, I cannot believe you convinced Nick Recchio to even look at an electric van.
Yep. While my wife didn't allow me to go out and buy one like Lola, we're a pretty sizable company, and you know, you and I, we just don't talk through these videos. We're on the phone texting ideas back and forth. And, and one thing that you, since Tampa, have been on me a little bit, and I appreciate it, I'm not saying that negative at all. Nick, you just take a look at e-vehicles, no matter what you think, and I do understand some of your inhibitions, some hang-ups with the e-vehicle. I really appreciate you driving that point home. So I get back after Tampa, and fast forward a couple months. It's first couple weeks of May right now, Mother's Day around the corner next week, and got off the phone with you about 7 days ago, and I said, okay, I'm done with this. I got to do something here. He is right.
Because I actually went and bought one. When I sent you the picture, you were like, he goes,
You didn't go buy an electric van.
Couldn't believe it. But in hindsight, 48 hours, 72 hours later, with your EV, you and Lola's EV interest, the merging of Class Bs right now coming out of the Tampa show, all the chatter across the board, it's something I would be foolish not to do something. So
at least look at it.
Absolutely.
At least, like,
start digging.
Find out for yourself how you feel. If it's terrible, then you'll see it's terrible.
So we have an opportunity. I didn't realize how many eTransits Forest River buys. So we have a division called Starcraft Bus. And they design They use this chassis for mobile airport shuttles, people movers.
Yeah.
There's no refrigerator. There's no holding tank. There's no toilets. It's a couple yellow poles, some plastic
you
seats.
get on, you get taken to a location, you get off.
But they've been doing about 250 of these a month.
A month?
A month.
Oh, okay.
So, and
for how long?
For about 6-8 months now.
Wow.
Okay. And it's really big, and they got it dialed in. So picked up the phone to the gentleman who handles chassis procurement for Forest River. I said, hey, I got a buddy that's going to be coming up from Gainesville, Florida. I want to surprise him. You and I kind of talked after I got the van here and said, okay, I did test drive it. I was
begrudgingly.
I was happy. You can tell when I'm a little happy.
Yeah.
All right.
Lola was there, and she was like, okay. He actually sounds like he liked it.
Because I've been a little hesitant, okay?
Right,
just cautious. Are we there yet?
Yeah.
So got to run it around the plant this week. Very impressed. This is the first e-vehicle I've ever driven. You know, we're not doing this because Winnebago launched an announcement or whatever.
Everyone's looking at the space.
You got to. You got to.
Yeah, the Thor folks, Winnebago's looking at it.
Yep.
There's some, I saw recently there was an article about these guys who work for Tesla, and that they were going to do their own van. Then when I dug into it to read the article, they just got a Ford eTransit, and then they're just building on the inside.
Yep.
You know, so I mean that's good. I'm not knocking it, but everyone thinks, oh, maybe they were doing something. But this is a good platform. It just has some downsides, like, you know, for you and even for me. What is this? Like, I think I can get 110, 115 mile range out of it. Not perfect.
And then, you know, the conversation we had originally talking about this, after just in the last 3 weeks, you sent me an update as to the new batteries range.
Yeah.
And that really piqued some interest in me. I think that's what turned my corner a little bit.
So for folks who don't know, because I don't think I've made a video about it, Ford is allegedly going to announce that they have a bigger battery, 186 miles is what people are saying, or more for the battery, and a faster charger. So mine, the same as this, will charge from 0 to 80 in about 35 minutes. So I think that'll do maybe 20 minutes.
Which is phenomenal. And, you know, one of the conversations Hank and I were having this morning, you know, the eTransit and the B-Van space might be a geographical some stepping stones geographically, and you know, whose power grids are the most solid, what state has the most state and national campgrounds within 100 miles of themselves, which takes in respect to what this van's going to be able to do.
Right.
Florida's a perfect state for it. I mean, you could just e-vehicle all through Florida. There are 100+ national parks or state parks, and you're going to be able to maintain that charge. So basically, I'm sniffing around it. There's some really neat things. The battery is out of this world. It's underneath the floor.
Yeah, we'll show you guys where the battery. So right in here, this is basically the charger in here, and then some fluids that you would use, and an AC unit. This is what you would plug up to. Actually, there is some kind of battery in here, and then if you're going to jump and all that kind of stuff, I think you connect to this, and then over there in that corner, just like you would with a Beyond or any other Transit. Then you've got you know, neither one of us is technical, but you've got all your charging stuff down here. This is pretty much what we're looking at here. You can see all the orange wires coming off of it.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's coolant.
You can kind of see the front of the bat pack, and that double DIN orange cord is very similar to the double DIN. I think it's an Anderson plug that's on our lithium units. Yeah, the double 4-out. But so, I'm quite impressed. I'm quite impressed.
This is built on the same line as any other Transit,
from what I understand. Yes.
Yeah, and the difference you would get, because you have everything up there, you got your charging up here. So if you're charging at home, you plug in there. Okay, and it comes with a 110, so you can plug it into a regular outlet. It'll take you from 0. It'll take you like 3 days.
Gotcha.
But if you have a 50 amp regular EV 50 amp charge, you can do it in about 8 hours. And if you go to a supercharger, you have to use both of these, the CCS right there, and then you can charge up.
What's this mean right here?
So this tells you how much battery you have on it. Right there. So let's see, should do all that, and then, so I think I call these pedals.
Yep.
If all the pedals are, I'm not even sure what I did to it just now, but if they're all lit up, then you're 100% charged.
Okay.
If you only have one, let me see, maybe I got it. Yeah. It's just going, there's no charger plugged in.
Gotcha.
So that'll eventually stop. But if you only have one, you have 20% battery.
Okay.
So that basically shows you your state of charge. And then, yep, there you go. This is actually really cool. I'll tell you why. When you're going to charge, all these vehicles have different charging ports. So some have them on this side, that side, or on the front, either side, both sides. This, I think, being up front makes it really easy for you to pull straight in and have easier access to charge, especially a bigger vehicle like this. So
shorter lead.
Yeah.
Electrical's going to travel a lot quicker.
And you can always tell that you're looking at an electric version of the Transit because of these blue lines. And then in the back it says eTransit. So other than that, you look at Transits and all kinds of vans all the time. What do you think about what you're looking at here? We're going to drive this. And you've already been driving it. What do you think in terms of quality, performance, etc.?
It's the fastest car I've ever driven.
Really?
Fastest van, definitely.
Right.
And that's coming off us using the all-wheel drive Ford EcoBoost, which is a very good chassis. I showed a couple guys in the plant where the battery is on this, and they're like, oh. And I go, okay, but somebody has a good floor system invented already to pass pull tests for seating.
Right.
I think we can tap into some of that StarCraft Forest River knowledge. I'm going to go over there in the next few weeks.
So in terms of where you don't want to drill holes, where you can drill holes.
And you and I talked at lunch today. Ford's got a PDI. I haven't done much digging on this, and Hank's really not forced my hand, but I'm always sniffing around, and he kind of brought this in my neighborhood to sniff around, so it's pretty cool. Obviously,
nudging. I'm just always trying to nudge you.
Probably not going to be able to do our typical fiberglass shower in here. Maybe just throwing around some ideas with the commode having to drop through. Maybe have to look at some cassette. Going to have to look at much lighter componentry, composites, which a lot of it's out there, and a lot of it is in my office already. It's just
it may be a different build. It may be a different build.
It might have to be. We don't do anything with the cassettes right now.
Right.
Of course, we're gonna have to look at that, but maybe this can teach us a thing or two.
Yeah.
But
so in terms of plumbing and stuff like that, you might have to get pumps to move stuff around. You might, so in other words, if you have all the plumbing inside but all your tanks are inside, you might have to have some actual motors or something to pump that stuff through. Or like you were talking about the shower, maybe you have like a big thing in the floor or whatever, so it might be shorter but bigger. Just come up with some inventive ways if you don't want to punch holes in it. I'm pretty sure you can punch some kind of holes.
We got a little bit, I think
the battery, let's see if we can look down here.
Battery starts, if you're looking, the battery starts about that far away from the side rail, so we might have an opportunity that we're going to have to get Ford involved there.
Yeah, this is very safe. I don't know if anyone could see it here though, but the crash structure for this is incredibly safe. It's bolstered on the sides. I've been looking at some videos of that. Yeah, so, and then here's your motor right under here. If you look down here, if you guys could see that, there's your motor right there. And let's see, you got a spare right here. So the smaller ones have the spare up front. But look at all the room down there, Nick. There's a lot of room under there.
Absolutely.
I see lots of nice little pockets. So it's still,
Another rear bath in the B-van segment.
Yeah. Ford might have some places that they've left out there.
Everything else
creative options.
Everything else is just the same, folks. It's just like a van that would come into us. Obviously, the folks that Beyond product, we don't bring it in with the windows.
Right.
Those come from Ford, but probably not going to be able to put glass in this. Glass weighs a couple bucks more. Might have to look at some Nova.
I think that would be good though. You're talking about
like
your vinyl windows. I think
acrylic
you do want to save weight. I think Ford has rated this to carry a lot of weight, but from what I've heard from the guys who are building on them, you still have to think about that weight. You could very easily go over the weight, right?
Yeah, Ford will be really happy to see you doing this video with me because I've been a hard no with Ford for a while. This has definitely opened my eyes, and
I'm glad to hear that.
No, I appreciate it. You know, this isn't something I'm going to be able to build on in 6, 8, 10, 12 weeks.
Right.
We're sniffing around, and that's when the fun stuff starts happening.
But you know, you're a reasonable guy, Nick. That's one of the things I like about you. You're not, of course, you have your things where you're like, okay, well, I like this, and I'm not going to do this. But you can also be convinced if you see a better solution.
Well, and I don't want to be left out in the cold either.
Yeah.
So sometimes you can be a little bit too stubborn, and then you find yourself outside of the circle, and then it's really tough to fight your way back inside. That circle.
Yeah, I understand.
So just want to keep an open mind. Got to keep an open mind on Class Bs with everything, including the chassis.
Yeah, and I don't want people to think that I think this is the only way. Listen, the bigger the range, the better. But we all have to battle. Like in an internal combustion, do you get a bigger gas tank? You know, how big do you want to go with that gas tank? Same situation here. This has a small battery because they're selling these to people using them for cargo and last mile deliveries. And if they go with bigger and bigger batteries, it gets more and more expensive. That's why I think a really good idea is to put a better, faster charger.
I agree.
So that you spend less time charging it up and then you get back on the road. So I think there's a balance there to do with this, but it's not perfect. It's not one size fits all. This really could do with a range extender.
Yeah, one of the things you pointed out on the way over to this park is the low function, I guess we're going to call it, where as you're 40 miles per hour, you go to coast, you're going to see your mile per hour needle dive to the furthest highest point of the recharge, but when you hit the low, man, it really
so that's
electric braking.
That's the how much power your power needle.
From stopping or coasting with the electric brakes, which are it's amazing.
Yeah, so regenerative braking I think is a big deal in this stuff. Always going to do better in the city than it's going to do on the highway. So the faster you're going, the more you're going to burn through that battery. But I think, you know, there's a balance here, and we're approaching that balance where if the range is big enough, and then you actually have inside of here, you know, a little apartment, a home built in this thing. If you have to stop somewhere and fully charge it up, you're not suffering.
Yep, you're not going to be sitting in your car, just sitting there. You're in your van, you're in your kitchen, you're in your bedroom.
Yeah. And a lot of times you can get to the if you're going to a park that has an electrical hookup, you could charge off that.
Yep.
And then really big batteries. This is something that I really want people to think about. If you think about putting in a house battery here to run everything, lithium battery, right? Even if you go big, you're getting, in terms of kilowatt hours, right? 1,000 hours, you might get a couple of thousand, maybe 10,000 kilowatt hours. This right now, as it sits, has a 68 kilowatt hour battery. So if you're charged and you're somewhere and you're camping out, you're good for days and days off of that. Think about it. And then it's just one battery. You don't necessarily have to have a bunch of different ones. Once you figure it out, because you got to have some access to that battery. And I think Ford does have the option with a power pack here.
Gotcha.
But, you know, you would have to figure, okay, so how do we connect that to a whole system where everyone doesn't have to come right there, you know, where we've got a whole system running through here and it's somehow plugged into that. That's going to be exciting.
Pretty impressed. I was giddy the other day before you came. First I was moaning and groaning, going, oh, what am I getting myself into? And then after security kind of flagged me down on the complex for going way too fast.
Right.
And they walked over to the van and they said, what's going on here? And I was like, I'm just in this new Transit. And they're like, the motor's not on. What's going on? I'm like, okay. You're just like me a couple weeks ago. But no, it's something really cool. It's something cool. Sales guys are pumped about it. You know, we just got to make sure we got a good laid out plan for this.
You need a prototype.
Yep.
Next step. Do you want to go for a drive and I'll record the whole thing?
I'd love to drive this again.
Yes, let's go do it. We'll drive back. You know what? I love it. I love this. I love this kind of stuff where, you know, where other people discover that something is cool. I don't think, as I've said before, it's everything. Can you guys hear that echo? This is what they sound like with nothing in them. Yeah. So.
Still haven't quite figured out how to turn this on.
Because it's on, and it's. You're on.
Does this have a traditional starter?
There you go.
Huh? What starts this? What is it? Like just a
Yeah,
it's like
it's just on.
Battery.
So, for example, this particular one, you got to turn the key. On the one that I have, it's push to start. Oh, here's your charging stuff. Sorry.
Oh wow.
So this has got a big transformer on it.
Oh boy.
Yep. So the way this works, these are according to what you want to plug into.
Hey, dog bone.
Yeah, so your 50 amp, right? Your 50 amp EV plug, to connect to that, you use this one. And then if you just have a house, this is what will go up front.
Okay.
And then if you just have a 110 at the house or your office or whatever, you can connect this smaller one.
Yep.
And they just plug into the backside right here. So see right there? Right here.
Oh
you
yeah.
just plug in there.
Cool.
And that's how that, yeah.
Super neat.
And then if you're at a campground, you want to get an adapter that will go on here and adapt to 30 amp or 50 amp, whatever the, what's typical in campgrounds, 30 amps?
Remote campgrounds, 30. Mm-hmm. Typical trailer, kids everywhere campground, you're going to see a ton of 50s.
Oh, okay. And I think the big Class A's use 50, right? Okay. So smaller stuff like the Class B's, 30 is what's typical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So here we go. We're going to go along.
You ready, Professor?
Yep, I'm ready. So there are different trims of this in case you guys are wondering. This is a 148 extended high roof we're in, right? And I think you can get just, I think that's your seat belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, we're going to take a little lengthier spin than we did on the way to get here, okay?
Yep.
I cannot believe the acceleration. I mean, you hear about e-vehicles acceleration, but never a van that can move this.
Yeah.
Quick.
It kicks you back.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's still just, I know we did some maybe B-roll on the way here, but I think it handles a little tighter than a
normal transit.
Yeah, even all-wheel, like an all-wheel, typical all-wheel drive, just a little tighter. I don't know if they overcompensated or had to
I think
add
the
a little suspension because it's heavier.
Good, yeah.
You said this chassis is a lot heavier.
Yeah. Now the weight of the motor and the battery is also going to lower your center of gravity.
Okay.
So it doesn't feel as loosey goosey, right?
So top heavy.
Yeah, because your center of gravity is much lower. Do you remember when the Ford Transits that we have now first came out and everyone was excited?
Well,
like, wow, this is going to be amazing, especially when they did all-wheel drive.
Nobody was excited at first because of the price.
Okay.
Then, and we were worried that our customers would stay with rear-wheel drive.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, the chassis got in a couple of people's hands.
Right.
A couple customers started talking a lot, and then it was just, we don't want rear-wheel drive anymore.
Yeah.
And actually, I was talking to Hank at lunch that Ford is actually increasing the prices mid-model year on all rear-wheel drive, high roof, medium roof, low roof, rear-wheel drive only, cutaway, and cab chassis. I don't know why, but they didn't increase the all-wheel drive EcoBoost.
I think they're trying to nudge. I think they're trying to nudge people in
they might want to put the death to the rear-wheel drive. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, but all-wheel drive is fantastic. To me, I drive my Beyond like a car.
Yep.
Now there's a couple of things with the Beyond. That's dualies, sitting low. I think that's completely different if you lift it and you put knobby tires and all of that kind of stuff on it. But
same tire sizes?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the difference in that suspension that they created there is big. I think it makes a huge difference having that suspension.
Well, the Transit was tight already. But
Yeah.
This is real tight. This is.
Yeah.
I love that line.
Yeah, me too. You know, and I think that's just the motor. So far as I know, you know, some companies building electric cars go to great extents to, how can I put it? They come up with fake noises.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and I really don't think it's necessary. That sounds
We
great.
got a local sheriff that lives on this road, so I'll be sure to go by really fast in front of him.
Oh, right. Oh boy, I'm guessing you know him.
But look around, corn country, farm country,
Yeah.
and a little eTransit spinning through the countryside.
Yeah.
So I messed around with this for about 2 hours the other day
Mm-hmm.
when you weren't here, and we're halfway in between a full quarter of a tank.
Yeah. And it's in transport
full
mode, if you guys can see right there.
Yeah, so we're getting we're not going to get all the performance necessary.
Everything out of it, but
Throws your head back.
yeah. You know what the amazing thing is?
I'm driving with
it's
one
not
arm.
lacking. Like I've driven other vans and you step on the gas and you're waiting for it to go. No, this is going. As soon as you step on that pedal. It's not even gas, right? Like that's not the right terminology.
I'm not white knuckling this one-handed at all. This is so responsive.
Yeah. And we're on a very bumpy road.
Yeah, this is terrible.
Here, I'll give you guys just some idea of where we're driving here. So, I mean, this road is bumpy and twists, and you know, I came down this road last night with my Beyond, and it wasn't bad. But I just feel even in this, the suspension and everything is taking it way, way better.
Dad a long time ago, and he loved going and testing, test driving cars.
Yeah.
You know, like the Bonneville. Remember when Bonneville came back out?
Right.
And they were Hunter Green and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And he would go, Nick, this thing drives like it's on rails.
Right.
Okay,
so you get in that same. You feel like that now?
I mean, I'm not even.
Yeah.
Corporate probably doesn't want to see me do this stuff because I don't own this chassis yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is some other guy's chassis.
Yeah, perks.
Yeah, 200 and what was it? 250?
Yeah.
No, 249.
Almost.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know where you're at?
We'll figure it out.
This is your neck of the woods, man.
All right, we're getting too country here.
Let's see. You gonna go back? Oh, this is nice horse country around here.
Now it has a little bit different 360 bird's eye than.
Yeah, you can get this with the bird's eye view.
You can?
Because I have it. Yes.
Oh. Pick up.
Yeah. So this is what's different down here. Your knob. That for your gears, and then this is what I was saying. Now every time you get in and out, Nick, I'll put it back on L.
Okay. You want to talk to him about what L does?
So what L does, doesn't really stand for low, but it gives you more regenerative braking. So no matter what, you have that regenerative braking. So for example, actually, let's take it off.
Okay.
And we'll show everyone. So drive, and then
I'm gonna go about 35 miles per hour.
Get it up and going there.
All right, and then kill it. Get my foot off the accelerator.
Yeah. So you see how the needle dives a little bit below zero there. So now let's switch it, and you don't have to stop to do this, but we'll put that on, and now go ahead.
So 35 again.
Yep.
There.
And see how it dove deeper. So that means you're getting more regenerative braking out of it. So especially if you're driving in the city, you want to use this because you'll get more back, and therefore you'll get more efficiency. On the highway, it'll help as well, but you're just not stopping as much when you're on the highway.
Gotcha. I can drive this.
I wish there was an option to just keep that on all the time, but
does that time out?
Well, when you stop the car and start the car again, you have to turn it back on again.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
mushroom hunter.
So let's say when you first drove the all-wheel drive Transit, how did you feel about that on a scale of 1 to 10?
Exactly how I felt about this the first time I drove
Really?
it.
Okay.
Just because, at the time we just got out of rear-wheel drive, and yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not a big car guy. I've never claimed to be, but at the time I had a 2013 F-150 with the Coyote engine in it, the 5.0. I don't know what it is. Evidently it's a nice engine.
Yep.
And we brought on the rear-wheel drive Transit, no EcoBoost at the time. It was a 3.7.
Oh, so that all of that stuff wasn't out in the beginning.
Right.
Okay.
So I just judged it up against my old truck.
Yeah.
And when the all-wheel drive got here, EcoBoost, this is game changer.
Yep.
I would say this is like that times 2. Fair enough. Don't want to embellish too much.
Right. Yeah. I think the big drawback is how much range there is on the battery, but that affects price, and that's not a technology thing.
Right.
That's just them putting in a bigger battery, which is more expensive, and of course a little heavier.
Maintenance cost is something customers are always concerned about when they make their chassis choices.
Yeah.
In buying a Class B.
This has way less maintenance.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there's no transmission.
Gotcha.
There's a motor, but you don't have to do oil changes or anything on this. So you do have to check fluids and check brakes and everything, but your brakes are going to wear out less. Because of the regenerative braking, which is always on, this button that we're pushing just gives you more of it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's always on, and electric cars in general don't have to change brakes as often. So, that's an advantage. I know people would worry about the battery, but there's a longer warranty on the battery.
Okay, didn't know that.
Typically with all the companies, yeah. So I would have to look and see exactly what Ford is offering, but it's a long warranty on the batteries, and the batteries are better now and lasting longer.
Yeah.
So before you would have to replace them. So typically you'd be in another vehicle before that. But it's easy enough to do. This battery is easy to get to also.
You get me this on a dually, 400-mile range, I'm sold.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm sold today.
Right.
But there's a lot of things. How does it fit into our little puzzle and how we build? And maybe we gotta say, okay, well, we can't build an eTransit like we can a gas transit.
Yeah.
And we're not necessarily create a new story, but spin off some of the things that we do unique on a Beyond into this E-Beyond maybe in the future.
Yeah, it's this platform, right? You definitely have to make some changes for this platform.
Big E, Yon.
Yeah. A big E.
A big blue E.
Beyond.
It's kind of funny. It would fit really good with that name.
Yeah.
This chassis can take you beyond what other.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like the simplicity of what I'm sitting in right now. There's not a lot of bells and whistles going on, like in my truck. I know probably customers would want a little bit more safety features than a final freight delivery. Do they have some different, lane keeping?
So this does, I was looking at your thing up front here. This does have lane keeping. I'm trying to see this. I don't know. I can't see if there's anything behind us. So, it has the warning here that there's someone, in your mirror, you can get the warnings in the mirror features. Yeah. So right here, you're just going to see drive modes. So there's a normal, eco, and slippery in the drive modes. And then there's charge settings here. And that stuff is all simple. But the actual features that you're looking for, there's not a lot of, let's see, settings. You're not going to, let's see, vehicle, rear view, camera delay. Yeah. You can get a lot of different features on this that you can get on any other Transit. So you can get 360 because I have that. And I have the mirrors indicate when someone is in the corner there.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. You know, so you can get some features off of it. It just, you know, the same thing when you're ordering them. Some people, so for example, you've got a key, right, to go. Mine has a button that you push, yeah. So this only has the e-brake. There's no physical e-brake, emergency brake here. It has the electric e-brake, I guess. Yeah. So
I don't know what I did here, but it looks like I might have got too close to something yesterday or gone too fast.
Yeah, that's just the collision warning that we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. So, or it might have just happened. I don't know if you've tapped the brakes since then. If you tap the brakes, see what happens? Oh, okay. Or maybe that's it's in transport mode.
Gotcha.
So that's why.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. So when you guys get the vans in, are they in transport mode? Yeah.
Yeah, and then the manufacturer, the local dealership, comes out and does a PDI, like a pre-delivery inspection.
Yeah. That's why you're getting that.
Yep. But
when you go back, those guys are gonna go, okay, you were really testing this, huh?
This should be for what I did yesterday, and I didn't do any of this stuff.
Okay.
I'm surprised it's still where it's at as far as
well, it hasn't locked you out of everything, so that's cool. So anyway, guys, here's what we're gonna do. We're headed back to the factory here. We're gonna do a little wrap up. I just thought I'll share that with you. You get to actually see a little bit of the process as Nick discovers this, as I'm sure lots of people out there are discovering what's going on. And maybe, what do you think? A year from now, 2 years, 3 years? What would you say? If you had to guess. No one will hold you to it.
Right now, probably 2 years.
2 years?
I like what the information you're sending me from Ford.
Yeah.
I'm actually, Monday is the 15th. I'm actually flying to Kansas City next week.
Oh, okay.
To meet with the Ford team.
Oh, cool.
And I'm sure they'll be very happy to hear
that you tried it out.
I'm not
different
so
man.
Negative Nick on this.
Yeah.
And I'm not typically negative Nick. I just we got an area we got to work within today, but my job's also to make sure I protect my people for tomorrow. Yeah. No matter how far that's down the road, but pleasant surprise. Thanks for not giving up on me.
Oh, absolutely.
Not that you would have, but and Lola, I'm doing this for you, so you don't have to hear Hank's frustrations after hours.
Yeah.
He just
poor Lola.
Nick just doesn't get it. But all good, you know. This is how, you know.
Do you know when I did my video of me buying this? Do you know how many people ask, "How did you convince your wife to do that?" She must be a saintly woman.
She was probably partially the driver behind it, because it makes perfect sense that you guys would have this little. I'm not even gonna call it a stopgap opportunity, but a bridge. Yeah. Because this is going to happen. Yeah. This is happening. Yeah. No matter what I say, what you want, it's happening, and it's quite evident that it's a lot further along than
There's very little that has to change. People think that the technology is in the way, and the technology is already here. It's already happening. So it's just really small things that are easy decisions for the companies to make. I hope that going forward, we have lots of choices, but who knows, you know, there's a lot of different factors out there that calculate into what kind of vehicle choices we have nowadays, unfortunately.
Sprinter, you know, Ford led the way as far as chassis that I buy.
Right.
On e-vehicles. You and I discussed Sprinter off camera. Mm-hmm. They've made some recent pretty cool announcements. Yeah.
They're going to have an e-Sprinter. We're going to see that soon.
Just, if we do it, everybody, let's do it right. And let's be responsible in what we're building and making sure we're not misleading the customer in any way, because that'll be... That's just a no-no, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to make sure we're doing this right for the end user, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So while we're driving here, I'll end this video. One of the cool things is that I actually have a partnership now going with Coachman. I'm a brand ambassador.
And Lola.
Big thanks. So is Lola, yes. Big thanks to Nick and everyone else on your team that helped make that happen. I'm very excited about this, working with you guys and helping being that bridge between the customer and the manufacturer of this stuff is very exciting to us. And along that line, Nick, we are doing a podcast coming up very soon.
Cool.
So it's called the VanNoisSeur Podcast.
Like it.
And Coachman is helping us. That's to make that happen.
Stuff I don't know about this whole relationship.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, but I learn about it.
Right, about the podcast?
Yeah.
You're going to be on it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We just need you to show up every now and then so we could do cool stuff like this. I'm going to let you say whatever you have to say before we get out of here.
Hey, just, it's end of May, middle of May right now. Business is tough. It's good. It's tough. It's good. Just depends on what day you wake up. And, we keep on doing the right thing every day, interacting with customers the way we do. I think we're just going to be just fine. Got a great team, and we're growing. We got a lot of, today at lunch, Hank was like a 5-year-old. Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Why? Yeah. Why? What? Right. And that's awesome. That's where it all starts. So we got a lot of great plans coming. And again, we're going to follow the Class B segment, and then we're going to kind of do it our way, and that's kind of, I'm not being stubborn, but we see some ways to do things maybe a little bit different, and instead of falling in line. So just appreciate all you customers. We're all blessed back here. We got customers showing up left and right at the service department, vans everywhere. It's really neat. Plant tours are coming. Hunter Matthews was in town this week. My lady friends from Hawaii and California were in this week. Hank's in this week. So spring is here, the flowers are popping up, and customers are crawling all over the place, and we love it. The guys on the line know we're loved. You know what I mean? When people come to you, let you know you're kind of doing something right.
Absolutely. And, everywhere I go around the country, right? Of course, I'm always looking at vans. I always see a Coachman Class B. I see a Beyond or a Galleria or a Nova out there, so it's awesome.
It was really cool spending some time down in Florida around the rally, and my wife and daughter judge my success in life by how many of our B vans we see on vacation. Right. And the year before, I was down in the Keys, and it was all Airstreams, Midwest, Winnebagos, and we found one Nova. But when we were over in the Ocala area, obviously, there's a lot of customers.
So were you king? You were king?
Yeah, we were seeing Beyonds and Mercedes and Gallerias and Novas. And, hey, we're real fortunate.
And you had fans.
Yeah, yep. We're real fortunate to have you folks as customers. At the end of the day, we're going to work our tail feathers off to make sure we're doing everything right back here, supporting you. And one of the main reasons I know why we're still employing our folks, our employees, continually 5 days a week, every week, is our commitment to customer service and just doing things a little bit different than the way most companies are today. So we really appreciate you folks. You're great customers, and be looking for some neat stuff from us here post-September 2023.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nick.
No problem, sir.
I appreciate it. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Yep.